Who is the worst person out there? Who's the worst? Is it that politician you hate? No. Is it Satan themselves? Also no. Is it the hunter who shot Bambi's mum? Also no. Meet Erebus. Welcome to Why I Love Warhammer, the series where I go into an unscripted ramble about why I love something in this hobby, and on today's episode, it is the Word Bearers. The short version, sometimes you just want to play as the worst of the worst. And there is no worst of the worst more, in my view, than Erebus. And I don't mean that facetiously. I don't mean that just for the meme of Erebus, he's the worst. Because Erebus is the worst. This is Erebus, a model that is terrifying. Look at the diorama base, he's got the terrifying face tattoos. But here's the deal, right? The Horus Heresy in universe took more lives, and its repercussions to take more lives than humanity can fathom. It's humans have a hard time with big numbers. A million versus a billion is huge, but we tend to conflate them in our minds. For me, it first came to light when it was a poster in my secondary school, which had dots, and it would be have a 10 by 10 dot, which would be to a tiny square of 100, 10 by 10 squares of the 10 by 10 squares of those squares, and the poster had a billion tiny dots. But it clarified how much of this chart was a million. And seeing that difference put it in my head. For other people, the difference between millions and billions is kind of the example of kind of minutes versus years. It's either minutes, hours, or days for a million, and then years for the billion. The Horus Heresy took trillions of lives. So the difference between a million and a billion, kind of that multiple again. And it was like there is more lives were lost due to the Horus Heresy than there are people on the planet Earth circa 2023. And really, the Horus Heresy is Erebus's fault. That is why Erebus is the worst. Yeah, there's some stuff on the side about him and Khan and the lack of a noble duel, but really it's because Erebus is the cause of the Horus Heresy and all the misery and life lost there. Erebus always worshipped chaos. It's his fault that Lorgar fell to chaos, which therefore led Horus to fall to chaos, which led to the whole freaking heresy. And it's not like Erebus was tricked or corrupted. Erebus was point zero. It was patient zero, right? Now, it sounds like this is just a condemnation of the Word Bearers, and it low-key is. But here's the problem, right? With thinking that. Every time I'm coming up with an idea of I want to play more Horus Heresy, or I've got Night Lords of Horus Heresy, but I want to get someone else into the game, so I should really have like a second faction that I can use so that I can introduce people to the Horus Heresy. The first thought I have is, let's make a Word Bearers army. Because sometimes you do just want to play unadulterated awfulness. And that's brilliant. We should be allowed to play bad guys. Right? Not every army we play needs to be a reflection on ourselves. Again, I'm 5'5". I play knights, and I play armies to compensate for my lack of height. good people, moral people, should be able to play as the word bearers. The short version of this video is I love the word bearers because they are so terrible, which makes me love them all the more. Who doesn't love a good villain? So yeah, here's the Lorgar model on this glorious scenic base. So not the Erebus model. Again, I just think it's brilliant. And again, being able to play as Erebus, there's something interesting about that. And playing as someone so awful, something that, you know, can only be admired by me. Lorgar Aurelian. There's something I like about Lorgar here, because he's not the tallest Primarch, he's not the most muscly Primarch. He's not even doesn't even look particularly young, but I like the kind of. It's interesting to have a character who's meant to be very kind of overly pious. This is a man who was so determined to worship the Emperor as a god. When he was rejected by the Emperor, it was very easy for Erebus to say, "Hey, these Chaos guys, they want worship." So there's something very interesting about that. And again, if he could come back to the Imperium in 40k, seeing everyone worship the Emperor as a god, be very interesting. Again, that's not an original observation, but it is something interesting to think about. I'm also a huge fan of this guy's armor. I love the gold and silver armor rather than necessarily just being red. I do love the red, but the gold and silver does make him feel more distinctive relative to the World Eaters, who are close enough in name that I often say World Eaters when I mean Word Bearers. But I can't knock the red armor. Look at this. Look at the. I love the kind of the flaming bashy stick here. This gun just looks incredible to me. The intricate designs on the armor, I just think is phenomenal. And again, red and silver is pretty freaking glorious. Also, I like how even though they are a traitor legion, this guy's still got a purity seal. That's interesting to me. It's a weird dichotomy. This character, I think, is glorious. I think it's just fun to have someone. I love models that are kind of partially corrupted, where there's still that marine to them, but it's very clear that marine aspect of their existence is not going to last much longer. Same deal for these guys. They're slowly falling. They're slowly becoming more corrupted. I just think that's fascinating. That's a really interesting type of model to build, an interesting type of model to paint, and it makes for a varied army. It means that your army feels more unique and more vibrant. And sometimes legions don't have that. They can feel a bit generic. It's just a color scheme. But the word bearers, it feels more unique. And again, part of that is the position they're in. It's that they are, that they were kind of the first to fall, and so they can be a bit more demonic. Like how on earth players loyalist word bearers would be fascinating to me, because of course they started the heresy. So there's going to be non-traitor versions of everything, but yeah, heresy loyalist word bearers would be fascinating to play and build. This guy's here, I mostly love his face. He's so happy. Look at him with his little plasma pistol and his big sword. He just looks so happy to be here. This is your ideal worker. He's happy to be there. He's gone through some pain, clearly, but he's loving life. And there aren't many traitor characters who you could say that for. This thing's terrifying. It's the demonic dreadnought. This is like halfway between. This is like dreadnought, knight, demon combined, and it's phenomenal. Look at this. Look at these teeth that are making up a finger. That's incredible. The purity seals have not worked from down here. It's fleshy. It's toothy. It's gutsy. It's mechanical. This is a demon engine. pure as you get. This is a demon engine. These guys, again, it's Marine meets demon trying to exist at the same time and not existing at the same time. This is so viscerally horrifying. This kind of Cronenberg-esque body horror. It fits the setting so well. These guys, again, a bit, bit pre-falling, but it's still fascinating, these word bearers. And again, these are kind of classic, and these ones almost highlight the tragedy of them, that they're Marines who are falling because of a couple of people easily swayed. So yeah, really, I think that's my thing for the word bearers. I love them because you can either play them as the unadulterated bad guys, which is fun and important, or you can play them as these deeply tragic characters who, fell because their leaders were easily swayed. There's something beautiful about that to me. So that's why I love the word bearers, in spite of thinking they're the worst. Common question of the day. Do you like the... Is there a faction you like? Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Common question of the day. Is there a faction you like because they are so terrible? If you want to write that down below, or if you just want to type in memes about Erebus, feel free. The default state for these videos is all comments go up unless they're potentially offensive. But if your comment is just Erebus, I'll approve that comment, even if YouTube tries to filter out. Yeah, if you want to like this video, please do. It'd be really lovely. If you want to subscribe for more Unbridled Positivity, that would be really appreciated as well. Got a Patreon in the description if you want to support me there. If you want to share this around with a few friends, that'd be phenomenal as well. And with that, I hope you're having a really good day, and I will see you next time.